My name is Ovo Tarigo. I'm the Executive Director of Ideal Initiative and the convener of Pandemic Volunteer. Today, I'll be speaking with you on civic responsibility in times of crisis, like this pandemic we are now. I'll focus on the acts of leadership in pandemic era. So the question is, first of all, what is leadership? What is crisis anyway? Crisis and challenges are inevitable part of life, but what we make out of it, what we do to survive, and how we survive it becomes a subject of discussion. It's inevitable, it must happen, but we need to get through it, and that is why we're having this discussion. One of the ways we can get through crisis is exercising our complete civic responsibility. If we do it together, we can overcome it together. Now, then we'll move forward to leadership. In this sense, in crisis, what is leadership? Leadership in a crisis situation is championing the way forward for others by your act of sacrifice, patriotism, and commitment. And there are some common mistakes people make in crisis situations, which, if you act as a leader, you can help curtail. One of the common mistakes people make in times of crisis, such as this pandemic, is panic and despair. The second one is ignoring the voice of caution. The third one is allowing idle time. So, to overcome the above, you need to understand your civic responsibilities in this pandemic. So when you understand that, then you can take leadership to help others get through this pandemic. But one may want to ask, what are civic responsibilities? Civic responsibilities are those actions, those things we need to do, that we are mandated to do by the Constitution, and that puts us as good citizens. And one of such civic responsibilities is paying taxes. It's voting during election. These are part of our civic responsibilities. But it doesn't stop there. There's more to it. Other part of our civic responsibility involves obeying the law of the state. So I want to bring it down to this pandemic now. For us to get through this crisis, we must exercise our responsibility of obeying the law of the state, which says we should stay at home. The law of the state says that if you have visited a country where the infection is in existence, when you get back to the country, you self-isolate for at least 14 days. These are laws of the state which we have to obey. If we obey it, we're already championing the way forward towards ending this crisis. The next aspect of civic responsibility that's related to ending this pandemic is volunteering. You have organizations within your communities carrying out certain level of sensitization. You may want to volunteer to help, and the sensitization could involve convincing community members to stick to the federal government guidance and federal government direction, like hygiene, washing of hands, and all those things. You can volunteer to share this message within your community. Number two, if you can volunteer with people who are supporting food drives within your community. You can give your time and resources to this cause, so you can volunteer. When you do so, you are helping to solve the problem. You are not part of the problem. Another way, under civic responsibility that's relevant in this crisis, is reporting those who have committed crimes or those who are breaking the law to the authorities. And you'll be wondering what I mean by this. It's part of our civic duty. Now, let's break it down. You know someone who just came back from Europe, and the law says you must self-isolate for 14 days. The person may be your neighbor, your relative, and you know that the person is not self-isolating. What do? It's your duty, it's your civic responsibility to report such persons to the authorities, to NCDC, to the police. If we do this together, we will get through this problem together in no time. The next thing you could do is to give assistance to people in need. You have more than enough food in your neighborhood, and there are people who do not have enough. Give out, support them. You'll be doing yourself good if you support these people, because when you support these people with food, the likelihood of them going out and probably getting infected is low, because people will stay at home. And when nobody's been infected by the disease outside, you are the time through which the country will overcome this pandemic becomes shorter. But as long as there's man-to-man spread, community spread, it will be longer for us to get through. So the little act of giving to somebody will make the person stay at home, and it breaks the chain of transmission. That's how we can get through this together. And finally, one thing in our civic responsibility that will help again is providing civic education to others, just like I'm doing today, sharing information with many young people across the world in this video, right? You keep sharing the same message to people. We need to flatten the curve. And flattening the curve does not involve speaking just English. It's taking action. So we must educate people. And for us to educate people, we should have knowledge. Read from confirmed sources like the World Health Organization, NCDC, Federal Ministry of Health, and all that. Get confirmed reports, and that's what you will share. So, just to end up this conversation, I want to say that in times of crisis, in this pandemic, there are many ways we can work together to get out of this crisis. And one of the ways we can lead in this crisis is for us to be the one to give direction to others who are confused. People who have lost hope, or people who are in despair. It is our responsibility to provide accurate information. For us to dispel fake news, we need to stop fake news by our actions, by not sharing information that are not verified. If we do so, we're helping to stop despair and panic, because panic and despair alone can cause death. Stay well, stay focused. I'll be right back again to give you more tips on how to go through this crisis. My name is Ovo. I'm here to serve you.